Gentlemen, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be talking about the Dead Air Mojave 9. This is a 9mm suppressor and it uses flow-through technology. So as you can see, it uses Dead Air's Triskelion baffle system, and this rotates the hot gases and pushes them out the front of the suppressor, and it significantly lowers the back pressure. This can is rated for 300 blackout supersonic semi-auto, and then it is also rated for 9mm and 300 blackout subs in full auto.
So after 15 rounds of hand tightening this on, you can see that I can just move it with my fingers like that. So let's get it.
This is going to be my first impressions on the Mojave 9. So the suppressor host I decided to use was the Glock 43X, and this rocks a Roscoe Manufacturing threaded barrel in 1/28, and I'm using Glock factory mags and PSA 15 round mags. The ammo that I ran was 115 grain, and this jumps between subsonic and supersonic, and then I also ran 147 grain, and this is just subsonic. I've had no malfunctions thus far, and everything has been working great. So let's get the weight on some of the configurations. So this first one, the full can comes in at 10.1 ounces. Just the booster is 4.2 ounces. Just the long configuration is 5.9 ounces. The short configuration is 4.2 ounces. And then the short with the piston is 8.4 ounces.
115 grain.
Functionality is the most important aspect for a suppressor. So let's go through the functionality from a shooter's perspective. So ultimately the can works great. It does what it's supposed to do. The flow-through design pushes a lot of the hot gases out the end, and the can has relatively low back pressure. It's not as nice as not using a suppressor, but it's also way better than a baffle style can. The only thing I have to compare it to is my 22 pistol, and that does not have a lot of gas around it, but it does spit debris in my face, which is quite annoying. I'm happy to report this can does not spit debris in my face, and the gas is not overwhelming, so that is very good. I will say the sound performance is excellent. With subsonic ammunition in the full configuration, it sounds really, really good. I have not shot it in the short configuration yet. That will come in the future, but overall the sound suppression in the full configuration is awesome. A few nice things about this can is it does use the P series from Dead Air, so you can use those parts, and then you can also run the Zeno system with this, and that's what I plan to run on 300 blackout and then a 9mm PCC in the future. But overall, the can works great, and it is very lightweight.
Hand tightening this thing is not working. It comes loose after a mag or two. I did tighten this down pretty tight like that, you know, pretty snug. After 4 magazines, after, let's see here, 50 rounds, it still didn't come loose. It's still tight. Let's see if I can break it loose. Yep, it wasn't too bad actually, so it was probably coming unthreaded anyways, but I will say if you're gonna rock one of these setups, if you can get a wrench on there like this, that would definitely help. Hand tightening is just not effective. But moving forward, yeah, I'm gonna be trying to tighten this with the wrench every time, because that definitely worked a little bit better.
This is probably the best system for shooting a suppressed handgun. So this is the Griffin Armament Easy Lock system. And this uses a piston and an adapter, and unfortunately they do not make it for the Dead Air Mojave 9 yet. Hopefully they will in the future, but a couple quick benefits are the quick detach and the left hand thread, which actually tightens the suppressor on as you shoot it, not loosen like direct thread. And this is what the adapters look like, and they attach onto the end of your muzzle, and then you put the piston in your booster and you're off to the races. So this works very similar to the Dead Air Zeno system, and that's what I run in all my rifles. And that system works great because it doesn't back off the end of your gun as you're shooting, and it just stays in place and it's rock solid. So ultimately, if you're looking to shoot suppressed pistols, I'd look into this system.
Completely messed.
Next, let's talk about the point of impact shift that I experienced with my Glock 43X and my Dead Air Mojave 9.
Right, yeah. So at 50 yards, I think it's safe to say that with this device, it's just, the point of impact shift is too significant. But it is a pistol, so 50 yards is quite a bit, realistically.
I noticed in my specific setup, my point of impact shift was to the right. Within 10 yards, this didn't really make a huge difference for me. But as I moved to 25 yards, I would notice I would start missing to the right a little bit. And then obviously at 50, it was just too much to account for. But that is something to keep in mind if you're going to run a suppressed handgun.
And then this is a known thing with them as well, so triggers back, see how it's not completely set. Very interesting.
This system is not as foolproof as a suppressed rifle, as you can see in the footage about to come up. However, I do think it does run reliably, and it is currently my home defense weapon, so that should tell you what I think about it. And overall, I think the system works great. It's just not as robust as a suppressed rifle system.
Okay, so that time it didn't go forward all the way, but watch. So, very interesting to say the least. After shooting, I don't know, it's got to be a few hundred rounds through this can and this setup. I think the reliability is definitely there. The Nielsen device or booster device definitely helps with that. Overall, 115 grain, 147 grain, both run great. The 115 are jumping between supersonic and subsonic, which is a little interesting. The 147 grain, however, all subsonic very consistently. But overall performance with this package is very good with the Glock 43X and the Dead Air Mojave 9. I love this setup. I cannot stop shooting this gun. I've shot this gun all weekend. Just keep going and loading up mags and coming back out, and it's a dream to shoot. It's so fun. And it's just, to operate the handgun with the suppressor, it adds a little bit of complexity, and it's fun. It's very quiet. It's very cool. It has very good vibes.